Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi has accused National Intelligence Service Director General Nordin Haji of abducting his son, Leslie Muturi, in June last year. Muturi, who at the same time was the country's Attorney General, has claimed that Haji confessed to President William Ruto that he was behind his son's abduction and only released him after the president instructed him to do so. NTV's David Mudoka reports on Muturi's bombshell that may just reveal who's behind the wave of abductions in the country.
After being challenged by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, to record a statement at DCI Kilimani in Nairobi on the abduction of his son Leslie, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi accepted the challenge, arriving at the Kilimani police station a few minutes past 2 p.m. on Tuesday to tell his side of the story. In his 3-page statement, Muturi has given a blow-by-blow account of how the abduction happened, his efforts to secure the release of his abducted son, and President William Ruto's successful intervention. Muturi begins by stating, and I quote, "On the 22nd of June 2024, at 9:29 p.m., I received a call from Wairimu, the wife of my son Leslie Muturi, telling me that she had been informed by Embakasi West MP Mark Munje, who was together with Leslie at an entertainment joint in Kilimani, that he had been abducted by armed, hooded gangsters." Muturi states that he immediately began the search for his son, stating, and I quote, "I called the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, and he promised to circulate the information among various police stations and then call me back. I then called Interior PS Raymond Omolo, and he assured me that he will take action." Muturi, who at the time was the country's Attorney General, continues, "I also tried to reach the Director Criminal Investigations, DCI Mohammed Amin, but his phones went unanswered. I tried calling the National Intelligence Service NIS Director Nordin Haji, but he did not answer either." The Public Service CS for the states, "After an hour, I called the IG again. He informed me that he had alerted all personnel on all routes, suspecting it was a robbery. I then called Raymond Omolo again, and he informed me that he had contacted several agencies to assist in finding Leslie. However, he was still inclined to believe it was a carjacking." Muturi says he escalated the matter, saying, "Around 3 a.m. I decided to send a WhatsApp message to the president. Someone gave me the contact of Saeed Kiprotich Mohammed, the director of Anti-Terrorism Protection Unit ATPU, as we had identified the Prado used to abduct my son and learned that such vehicles were often used by ATPU. I called Mohammed, but he did not answer or respond to my text message." The next day, Muturi states, "Between 10 and 11 a.m., a friend from NIS called informing me that my son was being held by their people. Just before 1 p.m., I decided to call Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Interior Cabinet Secretary then. 15 minutes later, Professor Kindiki called back, saying he had spoken with the DG of NIS, who denied holding Leslie. Running out of options, the CS says, I decided to drive to State House to see the president in person. I informed the president about my message, and he explained that his phone had crashed due to an overload of messages. Since it was not functioning properly, I requested that he call Nordin Haji directly. Muturi says that was when his worst fears were confirmed. The statement concludes, standing outside the pavilion, I heard the president ask Nordin Haji if he was holding my son. Nordin confirmed that he was indeed holding my son, and the president instructed him to release Leslie immediately. Slightly over an hour later, Leslie called me to say he had been released and was at home. End of quote. The statement comes only days after Muturi had hit out at the government for failing to end abductions. His scathing attack was met with backlash from a section of Ruto allies who threatened to impeach Muturi.
Wewe ujiuzulu, kuja ongea huku nje kama raia mwema. Ushike microphone kama raia mwema ukiongelesha ukigonga hiyo serikali. Lakini huwezi gonga serikali ukiwa ndani yake. Haiwezekani.
I would just say bring it on, at my age, I'm not the kind of person to respond to some of it is really very perfunctory statement made by fairly inexperienced politicians. I think they're not worthy my response. So if anybody thinks that I don't know what I'm doing, then they are up for a rude shock.
Amid threats of impeachment by a section of President William Ruto's allies, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi is sticking to his guns, setting the stage for a looming showdown in Parliament over his removal from office. David Mudhoka, NTV from the Kilimani Police Station, Nairobi.